Normally when you head to the airport, you have to drive, but when you fly first class, you get a private chauffeur.
And this is just one of the many things that makes Etihad's first class so special. But unlike other airlines such as Emirates, Etihad also has something better than first class called the Residence, which can cost up to $25,000. But sometimes if you get extremely lucky, this can actually be free.
And not only do you get a private driver, but there are also butlers waiting to grab your luggage and a private first class check-in.
Unlike a usual check-in line, this place was filled with couches and other places to sit while the staff checked me in. But after, they had people come to carry my bags while they brought me over to a private security line.
And because it's first class, it is genuinely the fastest security experience you could possibly imagine. But to make things even crazier, they escort you through the airport to the lounge, which is currently happening right now. So far, this is insane.
And it isn't just any lounge they were bringing me to, because it turns out they had one dedicated strictly for first class passengers.
I think that is the quickest I've been through security and the entire airport process in my entire life. I'll be honest, I feel kind of out of place here. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I'm just some YouTuber. And the people in here, they're very fancy.
But now, from here on out, here's how things are going to go. I'm going to be rating the lounge, on-flight amenities, food, seat, and most importantly, the overall experience of what it's like having the most exclusive flying experience money can buy. All to see if it's really worth it or not.
But now, one of the benefits to flying first class with Etihad is that they have gone ahead and booked me a private massage. You heard me right. I get a free 15-minute massage just because I'm flying first class. I mean, I'll take it, but before we do that, I think I should go and check out this incredible lounge because it's also one of the biggest lounges I've ever seen in my life. There are big fancy seats. Not only one big fancy couch, but multiple big fancy couches, which are also super soft. Seating areas where you could lounge with all of your friends. Numerous fancy sleep areas. Minibar area number 1, which also has fancy Voss water, very bougie. A bar full of Voss water. A TV to watch sports. There's artwork, which looks quite expensive. And also an area for fine dining. So you already know I need to order something. Up first, we've got the drink menu. We've got 2 pretty fancy champagnes, 4 very fancy bottles of white wine, which I might have to have. There's also 4 red wines and a dessert wine too. Fortified wine, which I'm not exactly sure what it is, but might give it a try. But now, how about the main menu? First of all, we've got a beautiful welcome message, which I always appreciate. For the appetizers, there's Arabic meze, maple seared scallop, some spinach, and sweet potatoes. Might give one of those a shot. We'll see. There's 5 mains. The beef tenderloin is definitely speaking to me. And for dessert, I'm a lover of chocolate. So obviously, I've got to do that. Now, when it comes to beef, I absolutely love it. So I'm going to be extremely judgmental. So that means if I say it's good, it's actually good. Because if it's bad, you're going to know. But first, we got to put the sauce on it. Perfect. It's really good. Like, really good. It's super juicy. The sauce pairs extremely well. And you don't even need salt. Solid 9.5 out of 10. But how about the chocolate? It was cake. Very, very good cake. 10 out of 10 from me. But now that I'm all done in the first lounge, it's time for the second lounge. Yes, there is 2 lounges to explore.
Starting things off upstairs, there was a massive bar where you could get any drink that you wanted while socializing with others, but on the floor below there was a ton of cool stuff, like a games room where you could play table footy, showers, and even a lounge for cigars.
I swear, this is the biggest lounge I've ever been to. It's massive, and we're not even done yet.
Now, pretty much everywhere I looked, they had these bougie air fresheners, but even better than that was downstairs on the main level, because there was a buffet-style restaurant where you could get pretty much anything that you wanted to eat. But that's when I noticed the spa was also on this floor, so I think it's time to get that first-class massage.
So I just signed the form for the massage, and I put max firmness I've never done max firmness before, so we'll see how this goes.
Now, as a dude who has only had 2 massages in his life, I had no idea what treatment to pick because there were a ton of different options to choose from, and I could have even gotten a haircut. But in the end, I decided to settle on a back massage, which blew my back out in the best way possible.
I can confirm my back has been properly assaulted. I have 1,000 knots that are now destroyed. So in terms of the first class lounge, it was elegant, beautiful, luxurious, and the food was delicious. The business class lounge was absolutely massive. Also, if you're wondering why I've been so quiet this whole time, it's literally silent in here, and I don't want to disturb everyone else. Because again, I'm a YouTuber, and most of these other people are very rich. So I think for the lounge rating, I'm gonna have to give it a solid 9.5. But now before I experience Etihad first class, I thought I'd read you guys some of the reviews, just so we know what we're in for.
Great experience and clean airport. I enjoyed the pajamas given to me in first class. Meal options were pretty good as well. 5 stars. Recently, I had the pleasure of flying the first class apartment. The ground experience at the first class lounge is outstanding. The flight was one of the best, if not the best, in the sky for commercial aviation. Food and beverages on board is simply outstanding. 5 stars. I absolutely loved my flight experience with Etihad. The space was luxurious and beautifully designed, offering the perfect blend of comfort and privacy. Also, the opportunity to shower was something not many airlines offer in their first class. 5 stars.
Now obviously, since it's first class, and since it's a Middle Eastern airline, it is bound to be amazing. But now the reviews are one thing, and as always, the flight itself can be completely different. But now, it's finally time to head to the gate, so let's check out Etihad's first class.
Well, sort of. See, at this point, I still thought I was going to be flying first class, and when I got to the gate, all of this changed, because after getting a notification on my phone, it turns out that I had been upgraded to the Residence, aka the most exclusive and the most expensive airplane seat in the entire world.
I was not expecting this today.
That's a good thing it did happen though.
I know, very good thing. Hi there.
Please enjoy the flight.
Thank you.
Is that correct?
Yes.
You may come with me, please.
Oh, this is exciting. Holy shit. I've been on the plane for literally 3 seconds. Got a glass of champagne in my hand, which is delicious. I don't think you guys are prepared for how insane this seat actually is. This is the living room. You heard me right. It is a living room on a plane. The seat is actually a full-on couch. Just in case you're flying with friends and you want to invite them over, you have a bench that they could sit on. Over this way is the hallway, which is crazy to think about. The fact that there's a hallway in an airplane seat is insane, which leads to the bedroom. That's right. This is literally a full-on bed in a plane. There's a private bathroom I have all to myself, and behind me is a private shower. And those are just a few things, because there is still so much more that we need to explore, so I think it's time to get started.
Straight away, the first thing that I noticed was the massive flat screen TV, comfy blankets that I could use throughout the flight, tons of different comfy throw pillows, charging ports for my devices, and also an HDMI input, meaning I might be able to play video games while on the plane. Yet this is only the tip of the iceberg, because now that we had taken off, things are about to get even crazier.
But since I got so lucky and got upgraded to the Residence, the first thing I need to do is change into my pajamas, because not only are they inside this bag, but also it includes the rest of the amenities. And from what I've been told, it's all designer brands. This place is crazy. So up first, we've got a bag of goodies. We've got the pajamas themselves, which are incredibly soft. You've also got a pair of slippers, which are extremely fluffy, a toothbrush and toothpaste. And then inside of the white bag, I've got myself some earplugs, some natural beauty cream, some facial mist, some pulse point oil, which I don't exactly know what that is, an eye mask, some conditioner for the shower, and also some lip balm. The pajamas are literally made of silk. Well, I don't know if they're actually made of silk, but they're that comfortable.
And it wasn't just the PJs which are high end, because this bathroom had Espa skincare, which is apparently super bougie. There were hot towels or cold towels on demand, hair dryer, and also a bathrobe for after I used the shower.
And maybe this is TMI, but the toilet seat is actually made of leather too.
So when it comes to the amenities, I'm gonna have to give that a solid 10 out of 10.
Now, not only is my seat basically an entire couch, but there are a bunch of secret features that come along with it. For example, down here I have an entire mini fridge all to myself, where the water is Voss. If I push these buttons right here, they also do a ton of different things. This one puts the blinds all the way up, and it also puts them all the way down too. This button right here actually moves the couch forward towards me, which is insane to think about. Then of course we also have this button which makes the seat into more of a lounge, because you know, if you're gonna watch movies, you're obviously gonna want to make it as bougie as possible. Inside this compartment beside me, there is a mini screen where I can control the lighting, different seat functions, the cushion firmness, the windows, and so much more. But that's not all, because you don't only have one television, you also get a second smaller one inside of the bedroom. I still can't get over the fact that there is a bedroom in this plane that I get to sleep in. What is reality? But now that I'm starting to get just a little bit hungry, I think it's time to go through the menu. Because on this flight, it is a la carte, meaning I could order however much I want, whenever I want, no matter the time. So let's see the options.
Opening the drinks menu, it was very similar to the one in the first class lounge, with various different wines and drinks to choose from, but for the food, it started with caviar. For the appetizers, there were 4 solid options, 5 for the main, a bunch of desserts, and also a breakfast menu as well.
Now I have gone ahead and placed my order for the meal, but before it gets here, apparently there is a lounge on the plane. From my understanding, if you're flying in the residence like this or in first class and you had friends back in business class, you could go to the lounge and socialize. There they have some snacks and drinks, but I don't really know what it looks like, so while I wait for the food, I may as well go investigate.
Making my way through the plane to the lounge, there was a full service bar that I could use at any time, but it turned out that I was the only one here, so I decided to go back to my seat to try and see if I could set up my gaming console before the meal service.
Now, because there is that HDMI port in the seat, technically I should be able to turn the massive TV over here into a screen for the Nintendo Switch or to play Minecraft off my laptop. Do I know if it's gonna work? Let's find out.
Now at this point, I genuinely didn't think that anything was gonna happen, but I got my Switch plugged in and it actually popped up on the TV.
I didn't think it was going to work, but it actually did. I'm about to have the best gaming experience on a frickin' airplane.
But that was gonna need to be after I was done with the meal, because soon enough the flight attendant came around with my food.
Now, even though there is all of this food, it is only the appetizer. But I am most excited for this, which is the caviar.
And what makes caviar even more special is that it has become the most iconic food on all of Emirates, which makes it so luxurious. But now that Etihad has it, it'll be interesting to see which is actually better.
Gotta use the special spoon. Cheers. This is going to be a very controversial statement. I think the caviar on Etihad is better than Emirates. Next up, the lobster. Oh my god, that is unbelievable. But how about the caviar and the lobster on the bread? Bon appetit. Solid 10 out of 10.
But it turns out I actually lied, because that was the salmon that was with the caviar, and now it was time for the lobster.
Let's see how it is. Legitimately an explosion of flavor in my mouth.
And now before the main, well, they decided to give me sorbet.
Apparently it's supposed to cleanse the palate, and it's definitely very tasty, so I'm not complaining. It is now time for the main dish, and I decided to get the beef tenderloin. So let's dive right in. Gotta pour the sauce on, get it all over it. It's time for the moment of truth. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. That is a 10 out of 10.
But now it was time for the best part, dessert.
And now finally for dessert, I got myself some cheesecake with dark chocolate. The dark chocolate's really good, but how about the cheesecake? It's a wrap. Legitimately unbelievable. This is way better than the Cheesecake Factory.
I know at this point I was entering a bit of a food coma and decided to play some Mario Kart, which to be honest with you was one of the most surreal experiences, being able to do this inside of an apartment on a plane. It was quite literally a dream come true. And to make things even better, once I was done with that, I made my way to the bedroom in order to get a few hours of sleep.
Morning. It's now currently about 7 in the morning, meaning there are 3 hours left in this flight. So I think it's time to take a shower. I have waited my entire life for this moment. It is time to shower on an airplane. This is crazy. Time to push the button. That was cold. I am officially showering on an airplane. That was easily the coolest thing I have ever done.
So for the amenities in the shower, I'm gonna have to give that a solid 10 out of 10. But now it was time for some breakfast.
This breakfast looks unreal. We've got a mango smoothie, we've got some toast, we've got some pastries, an omelet, sausages, and so much more. Starting off with the smoothie. Pretty solid. The pastry. Absolutely delicious. The omelet. Definitely savory. The fruit. Super fresh. I'll be honest, after this long in the air, I don't know how they managed to keep it fresh, but it's really good.
And honestly, at this point, the food just kept coming, so I tried to enjoy it as much as I possibly could before landing. But as for my thoughts on the residence, well, that is officially the best airplane seat and experience in the entire world.